Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the show. I had to take a break just to prepare some images that I want to show you here. Will the US be attacking in Iran any minute now as we're speaking? Well, it sure looks like they have gathered the biggest gathering of US forces, aircraft, and airplanes, and ships, and submarines, and basically everything you can imagine. I don't know since when. I don't know since which war, but it's one of the biggest gatherings that was gathered, and it just looks very, very serious. Before we start, let me show you a fun video that helps summarize what we're all feeling right now. And it's this brilliant AI video that was made, I think, by the Oda show. So let's watch it. Is that Elon Musk? We're investing somehow in this war. So here's the thing, and I want us to stop for a second and talk about it. We might be seeing right now either the biggest leverage of negotiation ever done in the Middle East, which America have brought literally its ferocious, gigantic military and getting ready for an assault, and by that hoping to pressure radical Islam into the point that they will stop being radical and be the good guys, or they will actually do the right thing, which is go and crush and destroy and annihilate and humiliate radical Islam, and by that actually solve that problem once and for all. There is no in between here. Now, regarding the pressure, when you try to pressure radical Islam, there's two outcomes. Either they will try to fight back if they think they can defeat you, or they will start playing the victim card in hope to buy time so they can come and defeat you tomorrow. There's literally no in between here. Meanwhile, they're oppressing and killing their own women and children and people in the tens of thousands. Some saying the numbers are already higher than 100,000 people, which is a big, big tragedy. Probably one of the biggest modern day massacre that happened, that intentionally the government is killing its own people. And I gotta say, a big part of it was because Donald Trump came and said, and I'm not blaming him for it, but I'm just saying, when he came and he said, go to the streets, take your country back, take names, we got your back, take their names, America's coming, that gave a false belief to these young, beautiful, brave Iranian women and men and elderly and children, that finally they'll be able to shake off the Islamic claws that have been oppressing and killing them and destroying their life, because the West is finally coming to help them and Uncle Donald is coming with America. So they literally went to the street because of that, and now they're being slaughtered for several weeks already. And all of a sudden, America is talking about maybe we won't attack, maybe we'll make a deal, and etc. And it's literally shaking, terrifying it. On the other hand, people need to understand it's a mistake to just attack like that. Hey, let's go, bomb, shoot the first airplane you have there, the nearest one, go and attack. If you want to really take down the regime properly, you need to prepare. Israel prepared for these missions for a very, very long time before she comes and does any operation. And then that's why the operation lasts 4 hours. Basically, Israel defeated Iran in 4 hours. Its biggest nemesis was defeated in 4 hours in a knockout KO. Immediately just went and took them down, took their entire leadership down, and destroyed all their air defenses, and was just literally having the Mossad agents running in the streets and hunting their scientists and their leaders. And in 12 days, basically, until America told them to stop, they have done the impossible, but that's because they were preparing for so long. Israel have way more capabilities in Iran than America, because Israel has been more focused and concerned about Iran having a nuclear weapon, because first of all, they will start by wiping Israel, and then they will go and nuke America and other places. So America was kind of a bit far away from that and dealing with other stuff like the Epstein file, and should men and women go to, females go to male bathrooms or male go to females, you get my point, fluffies and squeezy teddy bears in schools and I don't know what. And we're ignoring a real threat that was happening in the Middle East, which is the rise of radical Islam and the connection that it have with China, Russia, and others. So Israel have been very, very invested in there. And now America need to build that capabilities. So I asked the question here, would Israel be helping in that attack? Because let me show you, let's read this, watch this news right now, and then we'll talk about it. And for those of you who joined right now, we're going to show you also a very funny video in the beginning after we hear the news. So let's hear it.
All eyes on Iran as the U.S. is ramping up military assets in the region. And reports indicate that the U.S. is prepared to strike Iran as soon as this weekend, though no final decision has been made. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says some progress has been made at the Geneva talks, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio is headed to Israel next week to update Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the U.S.-Iran nuclear talks. We have a live report on that later this hour.
Look at them up there, just plotting, picking their moment.
I love this one.
So, Bill, we attack tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
I mean it this time.
I do too.
So that's what's been going on right now. People are thinking, are they going to attack? Not going to attack? When is it going to happen? Tomorrow, right now, tomorrow. But it's not been happening. But meanwhile, America is focusing and bringing as many forces that they can right now, engulfing that region. Will they be attacking in this weekend? Will they not? Well, first of all, from a strategic point, you never tell your enemy when do you attack. The only country that tells the enemies when they attack is basically Israel right now, because they want to avoid human casualties and innocent civilians. So they usually tell the enemies we're going to attack here, there, and this time, this hour. But no army in the world should ever do that. That is very ill-advised. So I do believe there's a lot of games going around, fooling them. Maybe the negotiation is also a trick, maybe not. But undoubtedly, it's definitely on the table. Now, when the attack happened, how will it go? Well, first of all, Israel did weaken the Iranian regime drastically, took away most of their air defense capabilities, and created chaos and fear among their ranks. If you don't remember, Israel created, the Iranians opened up a Mossad hunting unit that had top clearance all the way to the Ayatollah. And their job was literally to go and clean the Iranian regime out of Mossad agents, only to find out later that the people who were running that unit were actually Mossad agents. So the Mossad agent was running the unit that was supposed to hunt Mossad agents. And what do you think they did with that? They got more access to everywhere because they got to go and investigate everyone. Come here, I want to talk to you. You can't say no because they need to be. If you want to have an agency that will properly investigate you, it needs to be outside and above the law almost. So no one can come and try to play games with them. So will Israel be involved in this attack this time? It will be very ill-advised for America not to involve Israel. I think America understands that because they need the Israeli intelligence. And here's the thing. People like to say all the time, Israel is dragging us into war. Well, Israel did not drag you to this war, guys. Donald Trump came and said that he will come and take down the regime when he saw all the innocent men and women being slaughtered in the streets. Mind you and remind you, the Iranians keep chanting death to America, death to Israel. So they say death to America first and then death to Israel. And they even call Israel the little Satan, America is the bigger Satan. So they hate Americans. They want to destroy America and they want weapons of mass destruction. And they're aligning themselves with the enemies of America. So by every possible definition, Iran is undoubtedly an enemy of America. And America will big time benefit from defeating that enemy, because not only you will take down one enemy that want to harm you, you also take down one of the enemies that is aligned with your allies. They are one of the main producers for the Shahad drones and other drones that are being used by the Russians and etc. And also they provide oil and other support to Russia and China. And that's why they're heavily tied with them. It's the asset of evil. So America came and said, we want to go and attack them. This is an America thing, guys. Israel right now obviously want to take down the regime because it's an evil regime. And I think every human in the Western hemisphere, every moral person should want to take that regime, because this regime is a very evil regime and he's oppressing the most beautiful nation, one of the most beautiful nations on this earth, the Persian people, the free people of Persia, of Iran, that want to live freely and want to join Team West. So by doing that, you're taking down one of the Muslim wicked regimes, weakening world jihad, strengthening Team West, and bringing a lot of allies to your team. So there's only good things coming out of this once they defeat the regime. So undoubtedly, the removal of the regime is the top priority. Now, America, I think, should be high up on their agenda, especially after they promised the Iranians go to the streets and ended up basically leaving them to dry. Here, I want to show you the video that I started here at the beginning, which captured it best. This is how all the wall right now is Gaza. Right. Donald Trump is going to back them. Donald's going to attack them again. No. So that's literally what is happening right now. Now, will America finally step to the table and follow up with their promise and threats and go and help remove that regime? I sure hope they would, with the challenges that are on the table, and we're going to talk about them right now. But can they do it alone? Yes, they can do it alone. What will be the price? Probably higher unless they do it with the help of Israel, which reminds you, again, Israel is the biggest ally that they have in the Middle East. But it's been painted differently by anti-Israel, anti-West, anti-Judeo-Christian forces like Tucker Carlson and what's the name of that gay Mexican midget? Nick Fontizi.
All eyes on Iran as the U.S. is ramping up military.
Trying to undermine the importance of Israel to America and that kind of strike. I even heard that Israel is telling America that if you don't do it right now, we're going in, because America has been trying to push right now for some kind of a deal. But Israel seems to be the only one right now that understand that you can't have deal with these guys. They always lie to you. They always lie. You cannot come and shake their hands and have a deal and they become good. So Bibi is flying back and forth trying to tell the U.S., listen, if you don't attack, we're attacking. Just letting you know, we cannot allow them. And the reason for that is two. First of all, they're still talking about building a nuclear plant to come and destroy Israel and destroy the West. So for some reason, Israel seems to be the only one focused on taking down the bad guys, while the West is focused on blaming Israel for saving them. Now, number two, they still have a lot of ballistic weapons, a lot of ballistic missiles and kinetic power that are threatening Israel and other allies in the world. And
a new Turkish threat.
Once you remove Iran, you have drastically reduced the threat of terrorism and instability in the Middle East. But with that said, another threat is rising that people are not talking about. And that threat, ladies and gentlemen, is Turkey. Qatar seems to have stepped right now back, seeing that Iran is a losing horse. Israel just literally went out and just in a second, blew up all of their allies that were coming and trying to destroy Israel. So now they're backing up from Iran, trying to put a lot of money into education and media in the US. Meanwhile, at the same time, supporting Turkey, who is becoming the next Iran. So that alliance in Turkey, what they're doing, Iran was fixated on destroying Israel. Turkey is already sending these vibes. We want to conquer Israel, destroy Israel, support Israel, and, anything bad they can say about Israel. Iran had their proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, and others. Turkey went in with the support of Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and others, basically took over Syria and made Syria their puppet and opened the gates of hell to the border with Israel. And using Syria, because Syria is an ISIS Al-Qaeda regime. Anyone tells you otherwise is literally lying to you or he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's undoubtedly ISIS Al-Qaeda regime, and it's heavily sponsored and supported by the Turks. And now they're eliminating slowly all the oppositions they have there. They took out the Kurds, they took out the Christians, the Alawite. They're trying to take out the Jews, but they can't because Israel is defending them. And the Jews are standing tall right now and saying we will not bend a knee to Sharia. So it's becoming the biggest threat. Now let's hear it from Naftali Bennett because he's saying something very, very interesting. And mind you, this guy is a smart guy. He was an officer in Sayeret Matkal, which is the Israeli Delta Force, and a very brilliant unit. But later on, he was also, the Prime Minister of Israel for a while, and he's heavily involved in high tech and technology. Very smart, very clever. Some people might agree and not agree with some of his policies, but in general, very sharp and a very promising future Israeli leader in one way or another. Let's hear what he said. And he just called Tucker Carlson cow poop. I call him cow. Yeah, another word for cow poop, but he gave him a funny name, which I liked. So watch it.
Is emerging. I want to be very clear. Turkey is emerging.
Here.
A new Turkish threat is emerging. I want to be very clear. Turkey and Qatar have gained influence in Syria, are seeking influence elsewhere and everywhere throughout the region. And from here, I warn, Turkey is the new Iran.
Here you go. I've been saying that for weeks.
Erdogan is sophisticated, dangerous, and he seeks to encircle Israel. And while some senior Israelis were on Qatar's payroll, Qatar and Turkey are nourishing the Islamic Brotherhood monster that is growing and eventually might become as dangerous as the one created by Iran. Turkey and Qatar are gaining influence not only in Syria, but also in Gaza, through the front door, and everywhere, and trying to create a new choke ring. Turkey is trying to flip Saudi Arabia against us and establish a hostile Sunni axis with nuclear Pakistan.
Our plan is for the ISF to be assigned in 5 different sectors.
Now look what a bad move America is doing here. Like, it's so bad that it's unbelievable. They literally had the Middle East handed to them in a platter that was haven't handed in a very long time, by Israel defeating and weakening all of the radical Islamist regimes, literally flipping the table, shuffling all the cards, starting all new. Let's start a new game, guys. Make it fair. Iran is out, Hezbollah is out, Houthi is out, Hamas is crushed, Palestine is, like, basically exposed for the terrorist state they are. And a new Middle East, guys, let's do it right this time. Let's give Christians back their power in the Middle East, Lebanon and Syria. Let's empower the Druze. Let's create an alliance between the Jews and the minorities who want to live in peace. And let's push away radical Islam and call it for what it is and start a new Middle East. And America, for a very short time, was actually going around with that. And so finally, someone is speaking the language of the Arab man. Finally, someone is making hummus and not sushi in the Middle East. And they understand what they're doing. But then a lot of pressure came from Arab countries, and a lot of money came, and it started manipulating the whole vision. And now they're trying to create this like peace committee, which have no peaceful members in it, and trying to basically bring Turkey and other forces to be even closer to Israel, and in the way that they will monitor. But the problem is, guys, and I'm sorry to say it, when you let a country like Turkey to come and be in Iran and just stay there. 1 second. Go take it, no problem. I'm staying in my friend's house here, so when you let a country like Turkey to come and lead the peace initiative and re-establishing of future of Palestine and Israel, while Turkey is a supporter of destroying Israel, what do you think they're gonna do? A Turkish soldier who doesn't like Israel, you think he's gonna stop Hamas, or he's gonna actually come and tell them, hey, listen, guys, let me cover for you? Are they going to replace UNRWA? Basically, they're basically letting Turkey come and become the new UNRWA, which is going to replace the rebuilding of Hamas and other terrorist groups that will come and try to destroy Israel. Undoubtedly, I think it's a very bad idea. Now, listen to what the guy is saying here, because this is literally a terrible idea that Americans are not hearing about. Terrible, terrible. I'm surprised how bad this idea is, and how come they literally had the platter on their plate. Like, literally, here, guys, here's the food, here's the shrimps, here's the hummus, here's the falafel. Make something nice with it. No. Let's do this.
Each sector receiving 1 ISF brigade. In the short term, we plan to deploy to the Rafah sector first, in addition to the training of police. Midterm objective is to continue to expand, sector by sector, all moving to our long-term 12,000 police and 20,000 ISF soldiers. I'm incredibly pleased to announce today that the first 5 countries have committed troops to serve in the ISF. Indonesia, Morocco, Kazakhstan, Kosovo, and Albania. And 2 countries have committed to train police, Egypt and Jordan. I would also like to announce that I have offered and Indonesia has accepted the position of Deputy Commander for the ISF. With these first steps, we will help bring the security that Gaza needs for our future prosperity and enduring peace.
It's incredibly powerful to be.
If you ever wondered who control the media in the world, who control the politicians, guys, it's Islam. Honestly, there's no other better explanation. Islam and Russian propaganda in China, but Islam have way more power, and they try to paint it as if Israel and the Jews control it. But literally, like every second day, a bad deal is done that is benefiting Islam and hurting Team West. And they're like literally all over the place. The reach have become so strong and so deep. Now watch this video. This is an American influencer that traveled. Well, I don't know if you got into Iran or not, but probably maybe she did. But she's literally trying to paint the Iranian regime and their military force as a good thing. These people are all against guns and weapons and militaries when they're in Team West. They're like, we don't like ICE, we don't like the police, defund the police, America is evil. The US, like, they literally go to funerals of veterans and soldiers in the US and try to destroy the funeral. But all of a sudden, when they go to the other side, when they go to radical Islam, they become full-on supporters of mass destruction, of government who are killing their own people. Watch this. I couldn't believe my eyes. It's hilarious. Here.
Prosperity and enduring peace.
It's incredibly powerful to be standing amongst the missiles, the drones that are resisting U.S. imperialism and Zionism, that have launched historic strikes on the heart of
I'm so happy to be around weapons of mass destructions in the hands of radical jihad, because they're resisting U.S. imperialism and the Zionism. So all of a sudden, the leftists, who are all against weapons and all against wars and just hippie, let's live kumbaya together, when they go to the side of misogynist, wicked, radical Muslims, terrorist supporters, good thing they have weapons. I'm so glad and honored to sit next to their weapons that they're using right now against their people. That's why I lost hope for the U.S. left.
the genocidal Zionist entity. And what's notable about Iran's missile program and drone development is that it is entirely indigenous to the country. Iran has
use it
been
against their people.
forced in this context to develop a really, really strong indigenous program to develop its own weapons. And this is why today it is so effective in resisting imperialism, not just in the territory of Iran, but also supplying these weapons, these systems, and this knowledge of this production to the entire axis of resistance, from Palestine to Yemen to Lebanon and so on.
Can you believe this is actually
Can you believe what you just heard? An American influencer is standing there. That's the young generation that's going in America on the right and on the left. That's why it's so concerning. And they're all against Israel because Israel is using the Iron Dome. But all of a sudden, I'm so honored to have weapons of mass destruction that are indigenous. Indigenous, you mean by what? But they're using it to kill their own people. They throw words like indigenous, apartheid, and all kind of stuff that they don't know what they mean. But literally, guys, you need to understand, they're not as misguided as you think. Some of these people are literally wicked. And if we're talking about another wicked person, you see this beautiful, dashing young lady that is posing in her bikini, and she might look like she's European or American. I think she's living in the UK. She is the son of one of the leaders in Iran that is right now killing and kidnapping its own women and children because they dare to dress like their daughters, living as millionaires outside of Iran. That is the kind of Iran that influence was supporting. Watch it. It's crazy.
Islamic Republic family member outside of Iran. Mahsa Ashaqmala is allegedly connected to the Islamic Republic, and she lives outside of Iran. As you can see, she's wearing a bikini in this picture, which is completely anti-Islamic. Here's another picture from her inside of Iran and the way she would be dressing with hijab and all of that. And again, here she is outside of Iran without hijab. This is her Instagram. As you can see, the Islamic Republic flag over her child. Allegedly, this family actually has millions of dollars in their accounts, enjoying their luxurious lifestyle.
Look how they're lying to you in the West. Social worker, West Kilburn, London, vegan life, married to Ali. And then her friends will come and say, like, yeah, and she'll probably just say everything bad about America and the Zionists and the US, colonism, etc. So then her friends, who are not so just easily manipulated, like the average European and the average American, easily manipulated because he's not invested in the game and he's far away. Yeah, I have my friend Masha. She's vegan. She's really cool. And she tells me that Iran is the good guys and the Zionists are the bad guys. And then you listen to Tucker Carlson. And then you start getting like, okay, well, I think it's the deep state, they're trying to hide it from us. And people, like, literally, instead of actually having facts on the ground, they go and they just jump on things that make them feel cool, make them feel intelligent, without going through the whole process of doing intelligent research. And then you have a woman like that, and there's many of them. You'll be shocked how many of these hypocrites, the children of the mullahs and of the Iranian RCG commanders and I don't know what scientists, who their parents are busy day and night killing and oppressing their own people, building weapons of mass destruction and trying to promote world jihad, while their children are being, living luxurious lives and being agents of soft jihad to make you believe that they're the good guys because she's vegan. Obviously, she's a nice woman. She's vegan. She's modern. Look at that. While women having their eyes plucked in Iran for daring to criticize the government or being whipped and flogged just because they showed a piece of hair or a shoulder.
Stolen from the Iranian people. That's her Instagram. As you can see, the Islamic Republic flag appears here and there, and then she's also got some bikini pictures, which is highly controversial. Another picture again with the Islamic Republic and no hijab.
Sickening.
This is her husband, Ali Rahim Mashai. I think he's from Ramsar, Iran. So her Islamic Republic family inside of Iran are slaughtering people under Islamic law, in particular for hijab, and their own family members live like this. Please share this video to raise awareness for the Iranian people. Thank you.
Go follow this guy, guys. Go follow this guy. I think his name is Masha Ashagamula. He does brilliant videos exposing these kind of the children of the Ayatollahs, which is so easy to expose them because they're literally all over the place. She doesn't live in Iran. She lives in the UK, which is basically another proxy of Iran and Qatar. I think the UK just told America that they will put an embargo on them and will not let them use the UK as a base of operation to attack Iran. Isn't it crazy how fast and quickly the UK is becoming Muslim? And how fast and quickly it's becoming Muslim that is full on supporting radical Islamic agenda. I mean, they got to the point that the UAE, not the UAE, that the Dubai and the Emirates came and said, we will not send our students anymore and give them scholarship to go and study in the UK because they go there and they become radical Muslims. So a Muslim country is afraid of sending its young Muslims to the UK because they get radicalized there. And we got so much cowpoo when we used to warn the Europeans by telling them they're not sending you their best, they're sending you the garbage of their society and the radicals of your society. And then I would get like someone like, how can you say that? I have my friend Munira and Samira and Ali and Ahmed are my neighbors and they're good people. Well, maybe they're good 1 out of 100, or maybe they're just lying to you, which is 99 out of 98. Let's leave one that is actually good there. 98 out of 100 are just lying to you. And then you have that one peaceful one there out of this 100 that just doesn't dare to speak because you have one radical fanatic lunatic next to him and 98 radical fanatic taqiyya lunatics next to him. And you're falling for that, thinking like, oh, wow, how dare you come and warn us? But that's what it is. Why do you think Europe looks like it is right now? They were warned. I've been warning them for the last 20 years. Like literally, some of my friends stopped listening to me because that would be the conversation. Well, I will tell them you're going to lose your country. So the warning was definitely written on the wall, but somehow Europe is falling badly. And Islam is not a majority yet in the UK. And it's already completely changing the way that the UK look at the world. And they're getting angry at America, who want to come and defeat the most evil, religious, radical regime on the face of the planet, that is Iran, and they're upset at them. So that's to show you, how morality is broken.
Their own family members live like this. Please share this video to raise awareness for the Iranian people. Thank you.
Now, this is a very, very interesting story, which I chose to put here for you. That is a statement of a Mossad agent in Iran who was operating deep inside and in the back, in the shadows, while Israel did the 12-day war. And he's showing a little bit of a glimpse of how did they do it and what happened there. Now, mind you, the Mossad have probably more employees in Iran than in Israel. And by that, it means that a lot of the Iranians end up working for the Mossad. But why is it so easy to recruit Iranians into the Mossad? And I had a Mossad agent on my channel a few other episodes back. former Mossad. He just came out of the shadows now, and he's a great, brilliant guy. And I just met him right now in Nashville. We were together in a conference here, trying to strengthen our ties with our Christian allies in the U.S., which will be, in the end of the day, Christians and conservatives in the U.S. It's sad to say, but mostly them will be the last line of defense of America and of Team West, because the left, again, I'm saying that, it breaks my heart to say, the left have completely lost the plot. They have queers for Palestine. They just lost the plot. And the ones that are normal there, you just don't hear them enough. So talking to him, he was also telling me the same thing. It's so easy to recruit agents there because the Iranians are very intelligent. They're raised, in houses of critical thinking. They have a very rich heritage that they're not abandoning so easy, even under Muslim colonization and attempt to completely erase their history. And they're heavily oppressed that they hate their government so badly. So when you have this group that are very intelligent, very motivated, literally, they're walking in the streets in the hundreds of thousands, being massacred, going to fight against that regime. So that is a very, very easy fertile ground, call it, for agencies like the CIA or the Mossad to come and get people to work with them and empower them, because you kind of drop a beam of buff. Like, you just made that Iranian man way, way stronger than he could have been before, because you give him training by the Mossad and intelligence, and you also connect him with other things that might help him fight that evil regime. So undoubtedly, Israel is probably one of the biggest helpers for the Iranian people to get free right now, not because they wanted to get them free from the first place, which is a good side quest, you can call it, but the idea was to take down the regime. But on the top of that is also to help these people get free, because they will build the next Iran, which will be a friend of Israel rather than an enemy and a friend of the West. So let's hear it from the man.
Take the special and specific weapon and to assemble everything together and be ready to launch it. When I was training in Israel, I assembled everything in less than 1 hour, and there around 1 hour 40 minutes.
It takes more time.
You know why? Because we saw some car came to us, and
so you had to stop.
Yeah. I didn't know about our target. Just we got coordination. I put my operator behind the system, and I'm going to watch out about our threat.
הם פורסים עכשיו את האמצעים שהביאו ונערכים לשיגור. And you were in touch all through the mission with Mossad headquarters?
Yep. I was Mossad eyes inside this mission.
בדקות האלה הרש וצוותו בעצם חשופים לגמרי, עם האמצעים לידם, ממתינים להנחיות מתל אביב.
چون همه چیز آماده انجام ماموریت من فقط باید یه دکمه شلیک می‌کردم و از جا خارج می‌شدم. موقعی که دستور شلیک رو گرفتم، چون تقریباً 1-2 ساعتی منتظر بودم تا بریم دستور بدم که شلیک کنم. It was terrible. I was scared about everything. Everything.
השעה כמעט 3 לפנות בוקר, כשסוף סוף מגיעה הפקודה לשגר.
We had just one chance to launch. I said, okay, let's do it. When we launched the missile, because the missile had a camera, I could see our target. They were launcher ready to shoot the ballistic missile to Israel. We eliminated. I communicated with the HQ. I said, we did our job. HQ said, yes, you did. And after that, I wanted to shout, yes, we did. We wanted to celebrate inside the area. But everything under control, guys, this is not finished. We have to arrange everything to come back to safe house.
Iranians who are getting the chance to actually fight back for their country, supported by the Mossad, going out and doing such a mission like that, taking targets of the people who kill their families and oppress their country and trying to destroy them, and meanwhile also managing to take down the launchers as they were going to launch over Israel. Remind you, Iran had tens of thousands of rockets aimed at Israel. They were literally planning of engulfing all of Israel by ballistic missiles and rockets and missiles and etc. And, almost wipe out Israel if Israel tries to attack. And Israel had these guys go and sneak and train by the Mossad and train how to use that equipment, and with direct communication with the headquarters of the Mossad, go around walk around and hide around these launchers, getting ready. And when the Israel and the Mossad launched the attack, took the leadership, got the leadership with a phone call to go to another bunker, took them as well. And the airplanes were just going in. All of a sudden, when these launchers opened, the Mossad had the drones, unmanned robotic, equipment from far away that are installed by Israeli special forces inside, and local Mossad agents in Iran standing there, trained, and they just went and bam, 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 took and cleared the whole threat almost against Israel, where barely a single missile was able to launch and reach Israel. What a crazy operation did they do, and what an amazing, impressive, being ahead of the game. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we might be seeing something very similar happening on the weekend in Iran. This time it's going to be by Team America coming and trying to do what they promised the Iranians are going to do, and also how they were dealing with the enemies that have been threatening to kill them and destroy them. Will they do it? Will they not? Will they just negotiate and reach a deal because the Arab world is convincing them to not do it? Will they pull back and leave it as it is, forcing Israel to go alone again and do it? That is to be told in the next few days. Donald Trump just went in and said that the world is close to World War III. But the problem, I think, with Trump saying these kind of things lately, that he says a lot of things that presidents before wouldn't say usually so easily, that it makes it a bit harder to understand. Is it just kind of a way of speech, or does it really mean it? Back in the days, as the president of the United States will come and say we're close to World War III, that's something serious. You take it very serious. But now it's just like, okay, I don't know, maybe just trying to hide and get eyes away from the Epstein files, or just trying to create a hype. They just throw words in the air more easily, I would say, than usually in the past. But what if he's right? But what if there's things happening behind the scene right now? Undoubtedly, there's things happening behind the scenes that we're not seeing. And I think in the next 2 days, we're going to see some interesting development. I'm going today to the forest to stay with my friends. They have a wooden house kind of that is completely off the grid, electricity from the river by like a turbine that they built, and organic food. And we're going to shoot a lot of guns and just lay under the stars and just talk about life. But I will still have internet there. I think they have a Starlink device. So I will still try to give you some update of what is happening there. But I wanted to come right now and give you this before I go on that trip. And there's just so many things I want to update you about this trip that I had in the US here, by the way. Also, I came to this Judeo-Christian conference, and then later on went to another huge Christian influencer media conference that I never knew existed in Nashville. Like, it's probably the biggest one in the world. I just didn't know it exists because I'm so not connected with other influencers of what's happening. But then I met some of them there, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I'm here. I said, "What are you guys doing here?" It's the biggest conference in the world. And I met with Mati Shoshani from TBN and Yair Pinto, among others, that told me, "You got to come there." Moshe Sigulim, another friend of mine, was telling me, "You got to go there. You got to go there, man. That is the place for you to be." And then I went and I asked Mati, and Yair said, "Listen, guys, I trust you very much. You're here. Do you think should I reschedule my flight, book another flight, lose that ticket, and just stay for another day? Like, since I'm here, is it worth it? Or is it going to be a waste of my time? Because I don't want to right now change everything, pay a lot of money, and then just go there and stand there smile and wave like a penguins, and I don't know what's happening." Told me, worth it. So I went to that conference, and I did stand smile and wave the penguin guys, but it was so good because I smiled and waved, and I got to see the actor who played Hercules in Xena, which is a great Christian advocate, also, and great, conservative with really good values about life. And I got to see another guy that I'm a big fan. He is the guy that have no limbs. I forgot his name. I'm really bad with names, but he has no arms, no legs, but super inspirational, motivational speaker. And he came to me and he told me, "I want to pray for you and for the Druze, and I want to bring that awareness more to my people in the church that I'm growing." And met with other very interesting people. Got interviewed by about, I think, 4 or 5 different podcasts there. All of that in 3 hours. I came there for 3 hours to do smile and waves, and I already got to be pulled out to different podcasts and meet interesting people. Connected with the U.S. Embassy here, who talked to me and said, "Listen, we should do things together. We want your help with some project that we want to do with the Israelis and the Druze and the Jews." So it was such a good networking place to go. And all of that. And I met, that is a crazy one. I met a young Israeli Christian Arab, which I won't say his name right now because it wasn't reveal himself. Wow, it's a crazy story. I think I convinced him to actually reveal himself. So he's still praying about it, thinking about it. But he's a Christian Arab from Israel that was frustrated that he wasn't able to join the IDF and fight along Israel with his friends as they protected his country, his people. Christian Arab. So what he did in the end is he helped develop a life-saving technology and equipment for the IDF and started selling it to the special forces, tanks, and even other agencies. And he did it all behind the scenes. And I came and I told him, you got to tell that story, man. It's a brilliant, beautiful story. He told me, yeah, but I don't know if I'm going to lose some of my Arab friends that don't support. And I came and told him, listen, honesty breaks walls. And a lot of times we're just afraid, you know, and if you take it to the Bible, that verse that says, you know, you should be warm or cold. Don't be lukewarm. Don't be in the middle. So, you know, choose a side and go with it. And then things will make more sense. And some people might like it, some not, but maybe there's a lot of Arab Christians out there and others, you know, Muslim Arabs, Israelis that are waiting to see a hero like you emerge and will be inspired by their story. So my point is, yes, Nick Vovich, Australian American Christian evangelist. Yes. Kevin Sorbo. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. That's the guy. Kevin Sorbo is the guy who played Hercules, right, Daniel? Yeah. Kevin Sorbo played Hercules and Hercules and Xena. And I think Nick is maybe the other guy. But brilliant people. So it was a beautiful conference in Nashville, and I'm going to be telling you all about it. I'm going to share some stories in my Instagram as well. I'm just barely have a second. I need to go right now. Daniel is driving me nuts because he wants me to help him go and lift the fridge and push some stuff before we go to the woods. So stay safe. See you next time, guys. And I will keep you updated about what is happening. Face is like itching to go. Yeah. Under the stars, off the grid, shooting guns. It's funny. We just went yesterday to a shop, pawn shop, where we saw some bullets, ammunition we wanted to get to use it, and then we went to another like supermarket, and right next to it there were cookies that you dip in your milk. Right next to it was the ammunition section where you can just buy loads of crossbows, arrows that looked like they came from the movie Rambo, where he shot it on a helicopter, and just a lot of weapons. And I was like, it's so funny how in America it's so easy to get these things. But then again, also there's some kind of a safety, because usually you see the people who do these things, they're not fanatic. It's unless they're like, you know, some weird transgender who grew up somewhere and just, you know, full of rage, and then you should not let these people get their hands on guns, undoubtedly. But like, it was surprising to see people just coming with like hunting rifle, sniper rifle, and you don't feel in danger next to them because they share some kind of a shared values of like, you know, it doesn't look like he's going to grab this gun and shoot you just in the street. You just want to go and get a hunting rifle so he can go and hunt in the woods that he lives next to him, or I don't know what. So either way, it was just super funny and super cool, and just something that you don't get to see in Europe or in Israel. So many guns in a supermarket, for the good and for the bad. We can open that discussion another time. But until then, guys, stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't forget to do the like, share, subscribe. Go and check my Patreon. Great deals. By great deals, I mean you're just going to end up supporting the channel, the work that I'm doing, and probably get nothing there because I have no time. But I'm really hoping and trying to get some times to actually start. Actually, I just gave free tickets to my people in Patreon to go and watch the podcast that we had yesterday in Hebrew. It was an event that was done by Khalifa. And it brought, I was on a panel. I was the moderator on the panel. And in my panel, there was former Mossad high-ranking agent, a woman that was in Shabak, and a big analytic of like Middle Eastern stuff. So it was Mossad and Shabak, and a woman that was in the Knesset. So it was just fascinating having two ladies and one man talking about what we talked about. It was in Hebrew. There is going to be subtitles as well. So yeah, that's something that I did get to give my Patreon people. And I hope soon, by the way, part of the outcome of this conference that came to Nashville, anyone who's here is probably interested in these stories. So I'm going to tell you that, is to try to strengthen the foundation of the Ashkar show and bringing more people into my team that will help me with the edits, will help me with preparations for these videos and etc. So we can start bringing you better quality, better insights, better videos to explain what is happening. So it was just all in all a great trip, and it's still going. Anyway, guys, like I said, stay safe. See you next time, and don't do anything stupid.